Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now I think as far as EDC is concerned, there's quite a few essential items that it's useful to carry. There are a lot of people carry things like a knife or a tool, a wallet, and a pen. A pen is an incredibly useful item to keep with you at all times. There's a British company, English company called Wingback that got in touch because I made some content on their original mechanical pen. And they're doing a version 2, and they reached out and I said, of course, I'd love to make some content because I really genuinely do love the original pen. Now let's take a closer look. Now I thought quickly we'd just have a quick look at the box. The box that it comes in is, you know, it's nice, but it's a very plain, unassuming kind of box. It says built for a lifetime. There's some information on the side about how this is carbon neutral, and then you can see it says made in England and Wingback there. Open this up, it gives you some more information here, and then on the inside you have the small box on the inside, which again gives you some more information about where it's made. Now, just to be clear, so these the Wingback are a company from London, but these are actually made in Birmingham, which I think is nice. Birmingham always used to be a powerhouse of industry here in England. You know, we can talk long and hard about what happened in the 80s and 90s about stuff kind of moving out of England, but it's nice to see a lot of that experience and knowledge that is still being used. And then on the inside here, you just have a little extra information. Here's a little card that they said to me as a thank you, and then you can see exactly who made your pen for you. Now, once you pass that bit, here is the pen itself. To give you some information about this, because there are a few different versions or a few different models of this, although you know they're the same one, but they're just made from different materials. This is the stainless steel version. It's made from 303 steel. There are two other versions. There is a brass version, which looks really nice. A lot of, I know around EDC, copper, brass is really nice because of that tarnish and that patina that you can get to it, which I think is really nice. I do have my original version here, which we will have a look at, and we will compare these. There is also a grade 5 titanium version as well. I do have some weights on these, so you will find that the weights of them do differ slightly. Brass, being a heavier, denser material, comes in at 52 grams. The stainless steel version that I have here comes in at 49 grams, and the titanium version, because titanium is it's a very strong material, but it's also reasonably light, that comes in at 31 grams. But yeah, so as I mentioned, to here we have the pen. But one thing to mention is the fact that it does come with this sleeve. So my original version that I have here, this sleeve goes everywhere with it. I have my pen on the inside. You might be looking at this thinking that is a dirty pen. However, I did some force patinaing to this to give it this kind of shipwrecked look, but wherever it goes, it always stays within this. So whenever I go to work in the morning, then it will go in there, and you get exactly the same. So it's made from this really nice kind of ripstop material, which is, you know, it's really nice, fits in, and it just fits in there perfectly. So you just have the little end poking out there. Now, as far as the measurements of this is concerned, it comes in at 127 millimeters by 8.3 millimeters in diameter. Now, I'd say as far as pens go, it feels in the hand like a regular pen. But I do have some alternatives here just to give you size comparisons against other pens that you will probably know or have seen on a day-to-day basis. So here we have the Parker Jotter next to it. As far as the weight is concerned, in my hand it feels roughly twice the weight of this, but the way that this is machined, this whole barrel is probably at least twice as thick. Now, when I say that, I mean the actual the steel that this is made from. The steel on the Jotter is reasonably thin. If you ever had this in your back pocket or you've got up and trodden on one, they're reasonably easy to Yeah, to kill. Whereas with this one, it is a lot stronger and a lot more robust. Hopefully you'll notice when it comes down to the end, the jotter does taper a little bit more towards the end, whereas the Wingback Mechanical one, it is just a little bit wider. I suppose you could pinch it, but it'd be difficult to write like that. But there, hopefully there's a good comparison in size. Now, another pen that I use a lot is this one from Bastion. As far as the weight is concerned, they're very similar in weight, although the Bastion is slightly heavier. But the writing experience with the Bastion one, it is just an extra little bit thicker. But again, just to kind of show, I think if you are after a pen, or you prefer a pen that is slightly wider and definitely a little bit more robust in your hand, and you prefer something with a little bit more weight to it, that's the beauty of pens like this. I also like the fact that Wingback put on there, it's built to last. This pen pretty much is indestructible. Now, taking it apart, because as most of us males tend to do, and I'm sure there are some females that like to take their pens apart as well, you can break this down. The way in which it works, as far as the mechanics of making the pen, or at least the cartridge to come out is. So with the original one here, if I just put them next to each other, actually, do you know what? This is probably a good point to show these side by side. As far as the diameter of these, they're identical, but what you'll find is that the original one, or at least the version 2, is probably about maybe 5 or 6 millimeters longer in length. That pretty much is the difference. The other difference that probably jumps out is the fact that this one also has a pocket clip. The pocket clip's about 3.5 centimeters or 35 millimeters, and it's super tough. You'll see here that it's actually held on, so the knurling on here, to make sure that this knurling goes all the way round, it's put onto there, and then there's actually a groove cut then into the head so that this can fit on there, and there is a single. I don't know what that is actually. I tried to find earlier. The smallest one that I've got here is a T6, and it won't fit in there. So I'm guessing. I'll just put that back. Guessing it's probably something like a T5. But if you wanted to take it apart, I suppose you could do. But to actuate the cartridge for it to come out, you twist the head like that, and then you'll see that it comes in and it comes out. It is similar to a bolt action. With this, you have your bolt action, and that kind of moves it up and down. The way that this works is the screw mechanism in here. So if I undo this and just take this out. Now, I've done that very purposely, very careful, because the first time I had this and I took it out and the spring went flying, and it took me a good hour to be able to find the spring. So here is the mechanism. Hopefully, if you can see, as this turns, there is that bolt action mechanism. So it's similar to a bolt action mechanism, but it's all housed within this mechanical unit here. I like the details that they've also added to here as well. So on this, it says Wingback, made in England, and it says batch 0. So this is actually a pre-production model that they've sent to me early before the Kickstarter campaign starts, which I think is really cool. I've never been sent anything like this, so being able to get something that is a pre-production version and it's batch 0. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. So anyway, pulling the cartridge out, we have a single spring in there, and there that sits. I'm guessing there is some other mechanics that they've done on the inside, because it looks like there's a sleeve in there. But with how strong this is, I wouldn't be surprised if that isn't a sleeve. So I'm trying to look at it in my eye, but I think that is just milled out from a solid piece. The cartridge that goes into this is it's a Schmidt G2. I forgot the number then for a second, but it is a G2 model, and it even says it here. These are compatible with with Parker refills as well, and I think as well the Schmidt ones also do pressurized versions of these as well. So if you wanted to get something that was pressurized and that would write at any angle in any situation, then they will also work in here too. There's no wobble as well, so when that's in there, it seats perfectly. And then you put it on, just push it on just far enough to make sure that the screws, or at least the threads, attach into the barrel here, and then it's out. But obviously when you want to close it, then you can just twist that and it will close it. So that is, and as I mentioned, just going back to the original one. So the original mechanical pen works in exactly the same manner. It's just the difference is that this one has that pocket clip. Now, the proof of the pudding for a lot of items, especially when it comes to pens, is how easy it is to be able to write with them. And I will say that this is a joy to write with. So on a day-to-day basis, I have to write a lot. I have to be able to take notes, especially from briefs when I go out to see clients. So being able to write with a pen on a day-to-day basis is really nice. I have to do illustrations as well, so being able to make sure that I can control it to do some of the medical illustrations that I have to do as well are also really nice with a pen like this. Now, the last little bit to point out is the detail on this, the knurling on here. So if I rub this against my thumb here, you can see the knurling on here. It will take off parts of your parts of your thumbnail. However, that's only if you're pushing on like that. Because the knurling is so small and so fine, if you are concerned about this digging into your finger, really shouldn't have any worries like that at all. It just fits really nice there. For me, my finger either tends to sit on the knurling or just ahead. I often shift depending on whether I'm writing or whether I'm trying to draw with this, and it doesn't give me any irritation whatsoever. Of course, after you've been using for some time, as most of us know, once you've been writing for a while, you get that little divot in there. However, the knurling on this doesn't push into your finger, it doesn't irritate your finger whatsoever. It really is a nice experience being able to write with this. Now, I know I mentioned at the beginning of this about EDC essentials. A pen is incredibly useful. It's great that we're living this digital age that we're in, but you still can't beat pen on paper. They very rarely go wrong. I mean, sometimes you might run out of ink, but you just get some refills. But yeah, super useful to have. What I'll also say is, I really do enjoy and relish the opportunity to show off British English manufacturing like this. The Kingdom and the Moorlands has an amazing diplomatic relationship with the English, so being able to show something like this off, for me, for a small channel like my own, yeah, it's definitely an honour. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this, so this is part of a Kickstarter, so this is live as we speak. So I'll leave some of the links below so that you can see more from them, so that you can support their Kickstarter campaign. They're a great company. I've worked with them a couple of times and really do like what they create. And yeah, they're just the detail that they've gone into with this. I think the Kickstarter campaign will, it will be a huge success. But yeah, it's an honour to help make that a success. So yes, all of those details will be below. Now, of course, as usual, I'll leave some of my social media links below so you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Which is nice. There's always been a bit of a north-south divide between the north and the south, although Birmingham's right in the Midlands. You're an idiot. I think this is coming out Wednesday, so happy hump day to everybody. In fact, I'm pretty sure this, if this is right, it should be coming out on Wednesday, so yes. Hope everybody's having a great week. I can't believe it's October already, which is nuts. But I guess that's how time works, isn't it? You know. Anyway, so yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. You know, seriously, you can go. I've got to finish my lunch.